Live-action Dumbo was a lot like that 2010-2011 Miami Heat team.
4 for 4!
James, Wade, Bosch playing in an Eric Spoelstra system, Keaton, DeVito, Farrell acting in a Tim Burton film. Both projects had a lot of talent and both fell flat. The Heat, of course, recovered from their stumble with back-to-back championships, and I believe Burton is primed for a Miami Heat-like recovery.
This one's gonna be perfect. Watch this.
While Dumbo won't rank amongst his best, it's promising that instead of returning to Disney for something like Alice in Wonderland, which focused on visuals more than character, Burton chose the smaller story of a big-eared elephant that focused on the character's growth into a wondrous being more than the setting.
That story always just, the symbol of that, this weird character that doesn't fit in, who's got what people might think is a weirdness or disability, and then he used it as a beautiful advantage. And I think that is something that always hit me with Dumbo.
The young elephant is the performer. We see him honing his craft the way a comedian might at an open mic, or dancers do in a studio. While trial and error is essential to an artist's success, the other key ingredient is inspiration. Just like you are what you eat, an artist is what they see. If he hadn't felt Heat resonate off the screen as the couple in Fellini's 8.5 danced, Quentin Tarantino wouldn't have been able to capture the supercharged chemistry between Mia and Vincent. If he hadn't experienced Francisco Goya's bone-chilling depiction of Saturn devouring the bones of his son, Guillermo del Toro may never have been able to create the fairy-eating Pale Man, stirring nightmares in the minds of Ophelia and audience members alike. Dumbo's high-flying act was also partly born from third-party artistry. In the original film, our young protagonist is put through one of the most heart-wrenching scenes in all of cinema history. By the time it's over, we're reaching for tissues, crying like babies. But because Dumbo's an actual baby, his crying leads to hiccups. To help his friend, Timothy Mouse gets Dumbo to drink some water.
Ain't nothing little water won't cure.
But unbeknownst to him, the water had been spiked with champagne. And so, in the crazed haze only a mixture of sadness and alcohol can shape,
You see what I see?
Dumbo sees pink elephants on parade. It is an awesome combination of music, color, and psychedelic imagery that has surely left some people speechless. Dumbo is watching all of it. The movie actually reminds you by having the elephants break their own fourth wall. This shot is key because it shows that it is only after seeing something extravagant that Dumbo himself becomes extravagant. It's the morning after all the heartache and drunkenness, and we find the pair of friends sleeping on a tree. Dumbo, an elephant on a tree.
Don't look now, but I think we're up in a tree.
He flew up there, and he doesn't know how. His talent needs some crafting, but that talent was unlocked after seeing something magical, and the same can be said for Tim Burton.
Look out! Look out!
The use of negative space to make colors pop, the exaggerated walk. All of it is seen in Oogie Boogie's equally elephantine strut and colorful yet colorless setting. Also, hair-raising empty sockets would become a defining aspect of the Pumpkin King's design. By having his breath taken away by pink elephants on parade, Tim Burton took a step towards producing breathtaking films like The Nightmare Before Christmas. Fast forward 17 years and Burton's back with Disney, making Alice in Wonderland, which has its moments, but it's ultimately disappointing for the same reason Charlie and the Chocolate Factory was a bit disappointing.
Ew.
Both remakes felt like Burton was intruding on the originals with his aesthetic and love of Johnny Depp, as opposed to collaborating with the originals the way he collaborated with the child-friendly horror of Pink Elephants on Parade to help make The Nightmare Before Christmas, or the way he worked with the crooked look of Dr. Caligari and so many other German expressionist films to make Beetlejuice. And of course, his feel for the underlying sadness in monster movies helped him make Edward Scissorhands. This is peak Burton, working with the art that inspired him to make his own. And while Dumbo falls more in line with his Alice in Wonderland types, scenes like the remade Pink Elephants are a cause for optimism. It's not quite as stunning as the original, but the constant cutting to an awestruck Dumbo watching the parade shows Burton was maybe less interested in creating spectacle and more interested in seeing an artist react to spectacle. After being so caught up in imposing his style on other people's work, it's refreshing to see Burton enjoy the work of his predecessors through Dumbo's eyes, the way he enjoyed the work of Vincent Price through Vincent Malloy's eyes. Released in 1982, Burton's first short is a testament to his lifelong love of the aforementioned Price.
For a boy his age, he's considerate and nice. But he wants to be just like Vincent Price.
Admiration for the horror icon led to a 6-minute whirlwind of grisly humor and freakish visuals that's capped off with a quote from The Raven.
And my soul from out that shadow that lies floating on the floor shall be lifted nevermore.
Beautiful. And it wouldn't have happened if at some point Burton wasn't like Dumbo, sitting back in awe of another person's work. Art begins with admiration and grows through collaboration with what is admired. Problem is, it hasn't been since Frankenweenie that one could feel Burton collaborating with the past, and even that came from an idea he had back during the Vincent days, when VHS tapes were still a thing. Perhaps by telling the story of a performer who gets inspired by other people's work, surrounded by people who get inspired by his work, Burton is signaling that he too is ready to be inspired again. He said it himself. Dumbo was made in part to remember what it felt like when
I first experienced Disney movies.
Dumbo isn't great, but it might just be that 2011 finals loss that prompts Burton into being the championship-level artist Tarantino was when he shot Pulp Fiction, Del Toro was when he made Pan's Labyrinth, he was when he thought of Vincent.
It's basically the story of a little boy who thinks that he's Vincent Price, and it comes from my childhood experiences, and as I really responded to his torment and anguish and insanity.
Those are the words of an artist who admired first, created second. Scissors Cross Burton taps back into that energy and makes some snow for us to dance in once again.